Well, another Batman solo in the long-lasting Batman franchise, directed by someone that has made two of my favorite movies of all time. So does the Batman deliver? Was the hype all worth it? Absolutely. I've been a strong advocate for this film since the day I heard Matt Reeves was on board, and from that point on, he hasn't really disappointed me, not one bit. When it came to the promotion for this film, he was describing the movie like it was some inspirational speech, and all I can say, he wasn't BSing his way just to build attention like some directors do, because he meant every word for what he said. Now, you can judge that I had very high expectations for this movie, and I can say that Matt Reeves absolutely exceeded it. The plot is very interesting. It feels like something you would see in a Batman comic. Throughout the movie, Gordon and Batman are solving sequential murder cases, and Riddler is leaving clues behind for the Batman to read. This all leads to a bigger picture in which the villain is trying to send a message to the hero and the people of Gotham. Now, there are side villains in the story, and they all play their part in a connected way. The movie is like a connect the dots scenario in which each character plays a vital point, unveiling the main focal point of the movie. And the casting and the character work really helps with this movie, because Reeves brilliantly casted each character. Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, is your typical Italian mob boss, and presents himself in a high society douchebag and is only in for control and money. Despite being a side villain, his role is very relevant to the story. He's not a cameo, he's not those one-off characters that is only in for the setup for their spin-off. Yes, he's getting a spin-off, but Reeves doesn't utilize him as an outcast of the story. No CGI whatsoever, that shit's real as it can get. Catwoman's flipping great in this one. Zoe Kravitz gave it her all, and it shows big time. Her entire character has a meaningful arc in this one, and the Bat and the Cat relationship is there, because Zoe and Robert's chemistry is outstanding and believable. And I gotta say, it's better than the previous iterations of the Bat and the Cat, and it's better than Michelle Pfeiffer's and Keaton's kicky chemistry. If I have to say which one's my favorite on-screen iteration of the character, it's gotta go to this one. Falcone, played by the legendary John Turturro, aka Agent Simmons from the Transformers franchise, does a fantastic job as Falcone, and I gotta say he rivals Tom Wilkinson's Falcone in this movie. He pulls a lot of strings. In this one, he's a manipulative asshole, he's a sadistic bastard. The trailers don't even show him as much at all. He's in like one or two TV spots, that's it. And I'm glad Reeves didn't expose him too much in the marketing phase. Many were believing that this movie overmarketed itself, but there's more to it. What you saw in the TV spots is only the gist of what's to come. There's a bigger picture, and some films have fallen victim to overmarketing. Transformers franchise is one of those victims. Every eye candy scene you see in those movies are in the marketing. When you go sit in a theater, the movie doesn't offer anything new to you, and the movie tunes you out. The Batman thankfully doesn't fall into that hole. Yes, they marketed the crap out of the movie, and it was basically my only concern I had, like, holy shit, we saw a lot of money shots, sequences. I really hope we get to see more new shots in the movie. And oh boy, we do. What we see in the promotion is only a fraction of the film, because there's a lot more fuel in the tank. Jeffrey Wright, played by Gordon. Now, I'm not familiar with the actor, but once that teaser dropped, I was like, this guy's got it. He feels like an outlier in the GCPD. Him and Batman are basically buddy detectives in this one, both work together and serve perfect chemistry. He's a great Jim Gordon, and I'm excited to see him in the Arkham show. That's happening, which we'll see more Jim Gordon. So I'm very excited. Alfred is also in it, but we barely see enough of him. Hopefully we get to see more of him in the sequel to this movie. The Riddler is a horrifying villain. He's not campy like Jim Carrey, I mean if you couldn't tell already. Throughout the movie he's killing certain folks for obvious reasons, and is to lure Batman and show him the bigger picture. And Paul Dano proving once again why he is underrated. Now Batman, how is he? Is he good? Is he underwhelming? The answer is neither. He's flipping amazing. He is a broken character in this one, and the movie doesn't shy away from manifesting this. He's a Batman that's trying to explore himself. He's unhinged, he's violent, depressed, all in all while trying to bring Gotham out of the corruption pool. Reeves even stated himself that this is a Bruce Wayne that hasn't dug deep finding distinct personalities, because he only runs one personality that he carries with Bruce and Batman. Bruce is barely in it, because he's out there most of the time fighting crime. He barely goes in public, which is a neat approach for a year 2 Batman. Another cool detail that stirred fans up and brought up the emo Batman nickname into existence was the eyeliner and the messy hair portrayed in the first trailer. Now every iteration of Batman donned the eyeliner besides Adam West's Batman. They all took their masks off, the eyeliner disappears. I mean, Keaton's mask literally gets ripped apart and his face is all clear of makeup. He's either a magician or directors tend to get lazy. But not Reeves, he said fuck that, I'ma do it right. I'm putting the eyeliner whether you like it or not, because it makes sense. And he's right on that, because it sure does. Now another big question people had about this movie, well, most people, besides if it's good or not, is does Batman kill in this movie? And nope, he does not. Actually, Matt Reeves handled the no-kill better than anyone. Look, Bale's Batman was my favorite on-screen Batman until now, obviously, but Nolan was very careless with that no-kill rule. I mean, you literally have Bale's Batman running over cop cars, flip a bunch of cop cars, he rammed his fucking tumbler into a garbage truck. And yes, he's dead. There's no way he is alive. But in this one, you had Batman chasing Penguin. He's just swerving through traffic while Penguin's going nuts on the road. He doesn't even make contact with any of the cars. Then you have Penguin over here flipping an entire truck, which led to a beautiful explosion. And Batman just flips him, which was already seen in the trailer. Even in the climactic fight, when Riddler's cosplayers are about to rain fire down on everyone, Batman doesn't even attempt to murder any of them. He's just beating them, strapping the cosplayers, and leaving them hanging on the ledge, kind of like Bale's Batman did with the cops in The Dark Knight. When I say The Batman is the best Batman film, I stand by that statement. When I say Matt Reeves knows how to fucking direct a film with a good mix of amazing storytelling and action, I also stand by that. Dude is phenomenal. His work with Caesar and Kobo was a great example of how to write your characters and their conflicts, giving the protagonists a three-dimensional value. Now you can add his work with Batman, Catwoman, and Falcone and many more because he made them very compelling to watch. And me as an audience member, I was invested in the characters throughout the entire movie. I've been seeing a lot of critics mention it's too dark, depressing, needs joy, and I'm like, you really don't know who Batman is, do you? Like, do you know why Bruce became Batman in the first place? Do you know his history as a child? His parents got shot down in a freaking alley. He suffers from PTSD. He has to worry about gangs, mobsters, making a mess out of Gotham. You're not gonna get a happy camper Batman from this, because they tried that 20 years ago and it didn't end well. Now, I know people hate this comparison, people hate this statement, but it's like this whole thing that's gotta be like the MCU mindset. Whether you like it or not, it's true. You make a comic book movie that's gritty and dark, you get a below 70. Try something new, well, that isn't going to end well, is it? Now, a final thing, if you're still bitching about the whole Twilight Batman, you can fuck off with that trope because it's outdated. Robert Pattinson keeps on proving that he's an A-list actor. And, well, the Batman gets an easy 100%. If you want me to do a full down breakdown, I will gladly do it. Just let me down below, but that will be sometime in the future when I get a physical copy of the movie. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Seno out.
I'm just a happy camper.